Can you beat Slay the Spire 2 with only the starter deck? Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to the channel's very first Slay the Spire 2 challenge. We're back and are joined by the Necrobinder who arises to the spotlight. The rules are simple. We can only play cards from the starter deck. That's right, we're going back to the basics with this one. I am allowing status cards generated by enemies, but we're not allowed to add any permanent additions to our deck. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this even possible? The starter deck is one thing, but no curses or quest cards either? How? Well, with a full, decorated compendium of Slay the Spire 1 challenges under our belt, you already know that we're starting this season off with everything we've got. So, sit back. Get yourself comfortable, for it's time. Time to climb. Climb time 2. Before we jump into this week's video, I just wanted to come on and say thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers. It means the absolute world. I hope that you enjoy the video. Let's do this, guys. Today, we get offered 3 choices: adding 5 max health and resting, obtaining a random rare card, or removing 2 cards from our deck. The rare card was, obviously, off the table, and between the others, I chose the Stone Humidifier for the defensive scaling it could bring. Greeting us to the challenge was a single Ribbit. Great starts begin with 12 unavoidable damage. I send in our strikes, fully defend its next attack, then let Osti claim our prize. We get 13 gold, and for the cards, oh, right. Our next fight was against the Shrinker Beetle. I play our bodyguard first, then send our attacks. Osti becomes big. We strike and defend without issue the following turn, then Osti, once again, deals the finishing blow. For the rewards, we get 12 gold and a potion of binding. Being able to apply weakness and vulnerability was a very welcome sight to see. The fuzzy worm crawler comes crawling next. We defend, attack, defend and attack. Early Act 1 enemies were not going to be a problem. It leaves us behind 18 gold, and talking of useful potions, more weakness gets acquired. Walking into our first question mark event, we get the self-help book. Do we increase our damage output, or maybe our defense? With how much health enemies get later on, I wanted to unleash a bit more damage. We then swam into the Sunken Statue event. Yeah, we aren't doing 5 elites, so I take the 117 gold, to which I was very glad that we did. You see, the Travelling Merchant was up next, and he held one of the greatest relics that we could have asked to see: Momentum. This relic adds 5 damage to an attack whenever it's played, and even though it wouldn't be nearly enough for this challenge, we were definitely leaving happy customers. I spend our remaining gold on this strength potion, then advance us further to fight the Buried Cubex. We open with Bodyguard and Unleash combo. It awakens next. I play a mix of attacks and defense to keep Osti safe, fully defend us on turn 3, but we do end up losing 8 health from its double attack. The construct leaves us behind 16 gold and no cards. Safety and Solace then held us Virtue. Upgrading was on my mind, but so was increasing our maximum health. I decided to snuggle in with Osti, resting up to 64 HP. The guaranteed relic chest of the act was up next, and of all the relics it could have held, we get the Strike Dummy. 3 extra damage on the only attacks we can play? Hot dog! Heading into floor 11, our next date was with the Mauler, and it was here where I made a most precarious decision. I use our weak potion. Anyway, we bodyguard, strike and unleash to deal 23 damage. I then send 3 strikes while he sets up his vulnerability, with us finishing him off, without an attack having ever landed on us. For the rewards, we get 20 gold and a lesson in impulsive potion throwing. At the next rest site, I make use of the Forge, choosing to upgrade our bodyguard to give Osti a bit more oomph. Let's see how this deck fares against our first elite though, the Frog Parasite. Our opening turn was there to send attacks. The potato generously gifts us 3 infections. Turn 2, I prioritize damage over defense, letting 2 go through, with us successfully pushing it into summon before the infection spread. We continue to have back and forths with the minis, tit for tats, a pickle P for pumper runs. Then, with us only taking 1 further damage, we finish off this Wrigley elite. For the rewards, we get 41 gold and the Stone Cracker Relic. This gives us a few upgrades at the start of boss battles, though I would have much rather had the updated version of this relic, to be clear. Moving forward, we remove a defend for 11 health, squash a couple of bugs, pick up a vulnerable potion for the reward, then enter the final rest site with cautious optimism. Even with us stockpiled with potions, I didn't want to risk tackling the boss without a full heal. After lighting this bonfire to rest, we head on through the grey veils of mist to the boss of Act 1, the Kin. This fight was not to be taken lightly. We have to take out these followers fast. I start by drinking our Estus Flask of Strength, then send our attacks into the one closest. We lose Osti and 5 health as consequence. Turn 2, 19 damage was now showing. We are frail. I continue our aggression. Strike Dummy enhances us, enough so that we can take out the front enemy. We lose 12 more health. Turn 3, our Scaling Strike was back. I send it in, then Bodyguard, and defend the boss's attack. We spend the next couple of turns removing the final follower before it was us versus the boss. We attack, defend, attack, and defend. Then, with our scaled up strike now scaled, we use it to comfortably take down the boss of Act 1. That felt solid. We just had to remember to not get overconfident here. Spire was going to be scaling a lot faster than we were. For the rewards, we collect the 100 gold and get ourselves ready to meet our ancient friend. In Act 2, the Hive. Entering their expanded Demesne, Ouroboros greets us with open tentacles. His relics? Demon Glass, Radiant Pearl, or Touch of Ouroboros. Demon Glass was not allowed, as that involved adding Ironclad cards to our deck. Radiant Pearl also involved gaining a permanent addition, and then there was the Touch of Ouroboros. Giving Osti more health at the start of combat was great with this challenge in mind, so I evolve our starter relic, then look to the map to ascertain as many rest sites as we could. Gently greeting us to the act was a tunneler. We start with scaling our strike, defend the attacks, break his shell with little effort, then with a mixture of our momentum and unleash, we take him down. For the rewards, we get 12 gold and a potion of block. The scent of our gold coins jingling, then peak interest from the Axe travelling merchant. Unfortunately for him, his wares didn't exactly peak ours. I paid to remove a defend and get on our way. This or that was our first question mark encounter. As I'm not allowing any permanent additions in this challenge, we simply add more coins to our purse in exchange for health. Now, this next combat was not what we wanted to see. It was the Thieving Hopper. Yeah, you already know, as does our draw pile. I don't even consider defending. I strike, unleash, and strike. The Hopper deals 10 physical damage, then 100 emotional. Turn 2, we manage to bring him down to 20 health. He then takes to the sky. I unleash to bring him down to 11, then prioritize defense to mitigate his attack. He's flying away next turn, and if he does, we can kiss this run goodbye, Brad. It's okay, I've done the calculations. I bodyguard and defend his attack fully again. Then, before he could escape, I send in Osti to reclaim what was rightfully ours. Phew. We pick up 16 gold and mark the return of the king. Moving forward, we get caught off guard by the Seismitoad. With our Scaling Strike now back in business, we make quick work of this guy, only losing 8 health in return. We pick up the reward of 11 gold before a far more challenging trio force us into fight. The Beetles. This fight has upfront damage and a scaling back end too. I send out everything I can into the rock bug. Osti goes down. We get weakened. Turn 2, 23 damage gets aimed towards us. That is simply too much damage to take. I throw our binding potion, and with its vulnerability, we take down the front one. It takes 2 more turns for the spider beetle to fall, then it was us versus the stag. Osti had 11 health, and with Unleash coming, I decide that now was the time to drink our block potion. Next, I play our Unleash and Scaled Strike for 39. We take 3 damage here, and again, but thanks to our solid potion performance, we take him down the following turn. We collect 20 gold and a strength potion as reward. Taking a moment of rest at the Bonfire Spirits, it was clear that from this moment, every decision we made had to be the correct one. If it weren't for those potions we carried, this adventure would already be over. Talking of potions, the guaranteed relic chest of the act held inside the tiny mailbox. Resting had never looked so good. With our gold bag filled with 342 marbles, we excitedly returned to the travelling merchant next. He held some solid relics to consider. Bronze scales would increase our effective damage, the smooth stone would give us dexterity, but it was the abacus which caught my eye. Because of our deck size being so small, this effectively acts as a better orichalcum, and with lack of defense protruding so, I don't hesitate in picking it up. I also add yet another strength potion, though that was a little unnecessary. We then pick up 71 gold from the Lost Wisp, upgrade our first defend before the elite of Act 2 made its presence known. The Bee-Man. I drink our Estus flask quicker than I follow floor instructions to attack a wall believing it leads to a secret passage, then defend and scale our strike. Turn 2. Abacus gives us 6 block, bodyguard and defend keep us protected from his 18 attack. He then buffs. We strike. He attacks. We defend. We send our strikes to take his health down and he does the same. We both sit in a daze. Now, 35 damage was coming our way. I defend it the best we can, but we lose a lot here. And even with our scaling strike, it still wasn't enough. Thankfully, our defense was, with one more unleash and strike being enough to take him down. The spoils of battle award us 40 gold, an explosive potion, and 2 attack card upgrades. Nice. One more battle was left to face before the boss. A couple of chompers. Our opening hand allows us to defend the first attacks. We strike the back one down on the second, fully defend the third and fifth, then take the final one down very shortly after. We pick up both the 18 gold and the speed potion, which I exchange for our explosive. A problem now presented itself though, as we entered the final rest site. Abacus. Where it had been valuable previously, the frantic escapes this boss inserted now be at its detriment. I attempt to counter this with resting and switching potions for more draw. It was now time for the boss of Act 2. Insatiable. 321 health was not a number we wanted to see. Bodyguard, Unleash and Scaling Strike get us started. 6 runaways get added to our deck. Turn 2. We defend, and with the Scaling Strike in mind, I prioritize running away. Turn 3. It was time for our vulnerable potion to be dispatched. Osti was healthy and follows up with 51 damage. Our strike deals 21 damage too. It was now the boss's turn to buff. We continue our scaling and cardio session. The war continued to be wrought. We exchanged damage back and forth. Osti could barely stand and we weren't far behind. The boss was now aiming to bring us to 13 health. We only had one chance at winning here, drawing our scaling strike. Okay, here we go. Yes! Man, talk about cutting it close. But how exactly are we meant to beat the final boss like this? For the rewards, we get 100 gold before we ascend forward to meet our ancient friend in Act 3. Glory. Overseeing the map, the Collector's daughter reigned as our final boss. The ancient that would help us take her down was none other than Vaku. He offered us 3 choices: the blood-soaked rose, sear talons, or the music box. Both Rose and Talons here were not allowed, as they would permanently add a curse to our deck. The music box, however, was an incredible find. This creates an ethereal copy of our first attack played every turn. Think about the momentum strikes. You know, Vaku, maybe you're not so bad after all. Greeting us to the act were the Elder Scrolls. I start by playing our momentum strike, then play it again. We finish the back scroll off. They retaliate by taking a bite. Turn 2. Bodyguard provides us defense and Osti with attacks. We neatly pack away the final one shortly after. For the rewards, we get 18 gold and an explosive potion. Moving into the first question mark event of the act, it was the Battle Sworn Dummy. Yeah, 150 damage in 3 turns isn't going to happen. I choose to enter us against the easiest option, and I'm glad that I did. The potion it left behind for us was a fairy in a bottle, the absolute perfect companion to any MultiBradx challenge. Moving forward, our next fight was against the Cultist Architect. We bodyguard for defense, then play our momentum strike. Once and again, he begins his scaling of strength. Turn 2, Unleash provides us 54 damage. Defend could keep Osti protected, but we didn't have the time. He loses 6 health. Next, 21 was here, but thanks to our lines of Osti aggression, with just one more unleash, taking the cultist down. There were no rewards to note. From one fight that was easy, we had quite the trickster next. It was Fizz on Sejuani. We get started with defense in mind, keeping close eye on his plated armor. Next, we get to scaling our momentum strikes, while Osti holds the line. The frog then buffs. We continue to scale. Osti holds on. He holds on. Just before Fizz can land his 45 damage ultimate, we send him back to the endless conveyor belt. We pick up 14 gold, then it was finally time for our momentum strike to get its upgrade. Standing at a crossroads, I considered the elite. We have 79 health, a strong amount of scaling, and a rest site straight after. But was a relic really needed here? I enter with caution. The 3 knights. I was already regretting this decision. The Unhollow Knight was my first concern. I send our strikes, check our draw pile, and decide to continue offense. We lose Osti and 14 health. Turn 2, 30 damage was on its way. We continue our offensive line, the best we can, but it wasn't enough. Another 15 shatters its way through. 43 damage was now on its way. I play our explosive potion first, then remove the kunai with chain. Next, we focused on the Magi Knight, take another 12 damage in the process. The end was now in sight. We take out the Magi, block the one who remained, and finish him off the following turn. Yeah, that was a very silly fight to take, but it wasn't without reward. Gaining Thorns for the Queen's multi-attack was a solid potion to obtain. We also get the leather opener too. Woo. Our guaranteed relic chest of the act was up next, and it held inside the pendulum. Getting extra draw for the Queen was a much better sight to see. Next, we rest up to 68, decline the early merchant's offers, rest again to 94 health, then we were to take on our final battle against the Globehead. Our opening hand was solid. Bodyguard gave rise to Osti for defense, our Unleash sent him in to attack. The ball brings him down to 1. Turn 2, it was our strike's turn to scale. We included defend, but it unfortunately wasn't enough. He goes down again. But it was only the once, as the following turn, we put this science project back on the shelf it belongs. For the rewards, we get 13 gold and a potion consideration. The math here was awkward, but I ultimately decided that another strength potion was better than our liquid bronze. Okay, one last merchant, and let's just say I'm glad we saved our gold. A fantastic relic was on show, Ornamental Fan. This gives us 4 block whenever we play 3 attacks, and considering the music box, this would be a perfect companion alongside our Abacus. I used the last of our gold to remove an unnecessary strike. Moving into the final rest site, this was looking good. I have a tactical conversation with Osti, get well rested, then look to you guys for inspirational support. Brad is a horse. No, you don't have to. They're not going to understand if you guys are saying horse stuff. It is now time for the boss, the final boss of the Spire, the Queen. Dealing 400 health was no easy task to accomplish. I drink our 2 strength potions immediately, then prepare our opening moves. We play our strikes to position E3, Bodyguard keeps us protected, but the Queen takes down our pawn. Turn 2, the agenda was set. 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, block. Another piece was captured by the Queen, and we lose 6 health as well. Now the dangerous turn. Her pawn was aiming a 36 attack straight at us. Should we take her rook down, or send everything into her? Having picked up such defensive relics from the start, I felt we had the health and consistent block to pull off our gambit. So I send in our strikes, then lose not only Osti, but 24 health as well. We do not stop. We do not falter. Our Osti goes down again, but with our strikes now dealing some serious numbers, well... Wait! We might actually get this, dude! We have it! And with that, we've officially beaten Slay the Spire with only the starter deck. What an incredible way to take this challenge down. I want to thank you all so much for watching our very first Slay the Spire 2 challenge video, and a special shout out to those who joined in the live stream. It was so much fun. Now, for the giveaway. My team recently won the Frost Prime Slay the Spire 2 tournament, and with it, I got another content creator box from Megacrit. I will be giving away one of these potions to a lucky winner. All you need to do is comment below. You don't need to subscribe or like the video, just leave a comment and I'll do the rest. You must be over 18 or have a guardian and be able to receive mail. And to all those who support me on Patreon, Broccoli Emoji, Druv, Mew, Phil, Datfish Gaming, Roju, Maths, Splashed, Pokemon Trainer Mike, Disselfur, Reams, Wassera, Sichoyas, Tamsin, those things, Tava, Quagra, Austin, Helios, Tenkai, Jemmy, Mum and Dad. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And remember to, as always, stay hydrated.